All right, everybody, welcome to the Market Recap Show. And it's going to be a big one, Adara. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, good, because I am. We got Tesla, we got Visa, we got everything. Could you take Adara out of my ear if you have a chance right now, Fabian? Thank you so much for that one. All right, so here we go. It's time to go, man. It's going to be Tesla today. We're waiting for them immediately. I'm hearing right now Texas Instruments is out. So TXN, let's have a quick little look here. We'll go over to a 1-minute chart. Slap that over here, Adara. There it is. It is a nice move to the upside right now for Texas Instruments. I'm just going to load this up and figure out what exactly they needed here for Texas Instruments, but there it is. It's a nice beat. We do have Benzinga out right now. I see it on here.
I found it.
Go ahead. You got it? Go ahead.
Yeah, so they actually had a drop here. Revenue decreasing 16% from the same quarter a year ago. So 16% year-over-year declines there for revenue. A revenue number coming in 3.66 billion, earnings per share of 120. I'm not seeing how that compares to the estimates.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Beat across the board. They did beat across the board for both GAAP EPS and sales, although, as mentioned, they did have a year-over-year decline there for their revenue, so that's...
Okay, thanks, Adara. Yeah, here we go, 171 and change. Good, great. I mean, that's what we're going to do. That's why right now, Adara and I, we're going to be the team that all of you want because we're going to give you the information. We're going to have a good time here. We're going to talk about trading, but right now it's Texas Instruments. It is out, and it's rocking, 174. Nice move to the upside. Watch out for a 175 break right now on Texas Instruments as that continues to go. What a green day it was, man. FXI leading the way to the upside. There, we always talk about FXI, don't we? Maybe we should talk about something else. Today, the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 continued their upward momentum from Friday. Is Tesla out? Did I just hear that? Tesla might be out, Adara. No, I don't think it's out yet. We will talk about that just real quick. Look at this. Today's movement. Look at the board across there, man. Microsoft, Google, Meta, the big dog NVIDIA. Who bought that bottom on NVIDIA, man? 770 yesterday? Monster move. Today, major earnings reporting after the market close, including more than 40% of the S&P's market cap as Tesla... Oh no, Tesla just touched 150 right there. Wow. Tesla's starting to go to the upside right now. Are we out? Potentially we are. Adara's going to be all over that one once we see Tesla, but here it goes. Remember, the implied move for Tesla was 9.7%. So right there, up to 150. I said greater than 142. Neil was under, Brendo was under, Sharif was over. Let's go Tesla. I said, where's that rabbit, Elon? Are you pulling that out of the hat or what? It's Tesla upside. Let me know, Adara, because I'm hearing in my ear adjusted EPS of 45 cents
I'm not seeing it yet.
Versus 52. EPS lower apparently for Tesla, so that's sending this down. As soon as Adara gets it, we're going to get it to you. Okay, lower
revenue miss and EPS miss there. Revenue coming in 21 I didn't hear the whole thing, $billion, but the point is the estimate was 22 billion, so they did miss there for revenue and EPS, about 5-cent miss, but they're moving to the upside here.
Tesla is definitely doing exactly what no one thought. Tesla right now up 7%. I mean, hey, we talked about where's this surprise. Look at her go, Adara. Tesla's now Moon City right now. Let's see what's happening. Here goes Tesla, 157 and change. Look what it looks like live. I mean, who else is doing this? Revenue, 21.3 billion. Revenue up right now. 9% up move for revenue. It is out. Tesla is out. 100% it's out. I'm hearing it in my ear. It's just we don't have anything confirmed on Benzinga, and we're not going to do that, Adara, until we get something. Yeah. Whenever you have something confirmed, come with it, because right now there's Tesla.
I have some notes.
Interrupt me.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so they did mention there's a sequential decline in volumes for the quarter, which was partially caused by that factory shutdown going on in Gigafactory Berlin. Also saying that their robotaxi product will continue to pursue a revolutionary unboxed manufacturing strategy. So you know, Elon earlier saying August 8th, 2024, the date for the robotaxi. Now teasing that robotaxi a little bit here in that earnings report. They also said they want to make their supervised full self-drive more accessible. In order to do so, they reduce the price of the subscription. So reduce the subscription price. That's how they're contextualizing that drop. As you know, we had that FSD drop from 12,000 to 8,000. So contextualizing that there.
You see how it says Shawn Katina? I've never looked better. You know, that's the wrong title there. Thank you to Adara for coming through again. Let's make sure. Again, Put those ones up in the chat, man. Adara definitely helping out, and a big change to the show that, quite frankly, I was like, yo, let's get someone else on the desk, you know, and I'm just so happy that you were down with that. All right, another one that's out. Mattel is out right now as well. EPS right now -5 cents, beating 12. So boom on that one. Sales is a miss. 810 versus 830. So just to show you guys what we're talking about, this is Mattel right here. 25 cents versus 12, miss on sales. But Mattel going to the upside right now. Apparently Enphase is out. So there goes Enphase, bang, up and down right now. Enphase touches 110, but you know what? That's nice, Enphase. What's up with Tesla? Tesla is still saying, hold my beer. Hold the beer. Did I not save that? Hold the... I did it, but I didn't save it. So there we go. We got Tesla, Texas Instruments on the board as well. Let's go back here and check out Texas Instruments really quickly. So there's the updated board. We have Trader Talk with Brian Shannon coming soon. What's up to Brian? We also have right now, hey, Adara, go get this number right now. Visa is...
I have Visa.
Visa's out.
Yep.
Come to the chart real quick, then we'll go to Adara. Right now, Visa is Rip City. This is one that we talked about on the podcast. We liked, or maybe not, we liked Visa against AXP. We saw a big number from AXP. Adara, kill him.
Yeah, I mean, they're beat across the board, and they beat last quarter as well. So Visa continuing to the upside here. Adjusted EPS beat 250 versus expected 244. Revenue beat 8.8 million versus expected 8.6 million. Net income beat 5.1 million versus 4.9 million expected. So they are not down on anything that I am seeing right now. What else happening here? They declared a quarterly dividend of 52 cents. Visa cannot lose over here. Nice increases across the board. Payment volume increasing 8% year over year. So, I mean, increases, beats, Visa, not at all a bad look.
No, a great look for Visa, and we talked about that. Let's figure out the strength of this retail because, honestly, Adara, I don't know about you, but like I make a purchase, bang, slap down that Visa every single time. I get the points.
Yeah, I have a Visa as well.
You have a points card? Or like
I have a dividends card.
What is a dividends
So it's
card
like
mean?
cash dividends. So like when I
like
want, I can
reinvest it
take it
for you?
out. Yeah. So it's like I get points or I get dollar amount per purchase, and then if I like see that my the amount that I have, I can withdraw it and then take it for cash. Yeah, it's like cash back.
I like that. I like that. We get the cash back as well. Tesla right now with a nice pullback right here. So we'll find out what. Hold on, we're both listening.
Yeah.
Gigafactory Shanghai production down. So that's not good. We talked about them potentially looking at India for production, but if their production is down, that's obviously going to signal, hey, they've already cut jobs. We'll wait to see demand. I'm not sure we have anything on the guide yet.
I have some more notes here from Tesla. Not
Let's
the
go.
gig, but not the guide yet, but they did say their quarterly operating income has been, they're saying, impacted by the decline in vehicle deliveries, which they are still kind of addressing here to what happened with the Giga Berlin factory. Updated future vehicle line to accelerate the launch of new models. So they're saying they might release some of these new models earlier ahead of previously communicated start of production in second half of 2025. So they're saying accelerated, but they're not giving us any dates, is what we're seeing right now on TSLA. I'm still seeing stuff come in, so I will keep you guys updated as I see anything big.
All right, Adara, again, thanks for doing all of this, man. You're getting a lot of nice comments in the chat, a lot of people loving the back and forth. They're loving the energy, and that's what we're going to do here at Trader TV Live. And we're about to have a banger guest come through as well. Welcome Brian Shannon soon to he's ready? Yeah, whenever you're ready, Brian, because, yeah, Tesla's moving around right now. Let me just quickly look at the daily chart for Tesla. So we're already ticked right here up to 152. We need to get up to 160 before we go on Tesla right now. So we're going to wait for that. They are talking more and more right now all about everything. This is Benzinga Pro. You know, Mattel moving around right now. Trading falling higher right now. A Q1 gap gross margin. There it is. This is pretty interesting. 17.4% gross margin. I remember I think it was last year, they were in the high 20s. So right now, gross margin, Adara, definitely being affected. One more time, let's just quickly go right now. Visa still holding highs. Texas Instruments, a quick little look on that. Up to 175, let's go. Yeah, we're eating on that one, man. People getting fed up on Texas Instruments. If you got that long, it's a good day, man. It's not a chicken dinner winner tonight, man. Maybe you're eating lobster. You like lobster?
I do like lobster. I've waxed poetic before to Fabian and Ramin about my love of red lobster, which I realize is not great lobster, but my friend and I like to go sometimes.
I'm down with red lobster. Red lobster is really fun because you get the those buns.
The biscuits.
The biscuits.
Yeah. And you can take leftovers. I usually will just have tons of leftovers. Yeah, it's nice.
We haven't gone there in forever, but you know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, I'll take the kids because they'll just get full on the biscuits.
There you go. Yeah.
One of my kids, my son does not like shrimp, but we had, my wife made this wicked green curry shrimp dish yesterday.
Good.
Like from scratch, like made
really
the curry.
good.
Shut up, Marissa. Okay, let's go, man. We're still going. We didn't even look at Enphase yet, did we?
I have Enphase numbers, and they're pretty disappointing here.
Enphase right now, Adara down 5.7% and still going lower. Enphase right now looking to take out 100. You better watch out for this $94, $95 level. We are way under. You know what, Adara? I'm going to drop an anchored VWAP off this November low right now and see where we are. So the anchor right now is right there. So right there where we were today, 113 and change. Oh man, where's Brian? He's gonna come on, and when I show him this, man, it's a good thing this guy doesn't have an ego because he nails a lot of these calls. Shout out to Brian and the anchored VWAP as we just hovered right around there. Boom, to the downside goes Enphase, but everybody wants more and more Tesla. So there's Tesla right now up to 154 and still going. So this is what's going, man. And remember, this was the whole thing about Tesla. This is what happens when everybody is bearish on a name. Look left, see what's happening right. Everybody's so nervous about Tesla, and then, up to 155 and change. Up goes Tesla right now. Just one of those things, Adara. Yeah. When you're thinking one way, it often is the other. Anything else coming across your board that you want to?
I have a lot of notes on Tesla here that I want to mention. Notably, we know if you say AI in an earnings call, sometimes people get excited. And guess what Tesla did here? Tesla and artificial intelligence software and hardware, we will continue to increase our core AI infrastructure capacity in the coming months. So we know sometimes there is that debate is Tesla is a car company or automotive company or more of a tech company, and they're certainly trying to emphasize that tech aspect here in this earnings call. They also said they're remaining committed to company-wide cost reduction, which of course we know with those layoffs, so interesting note there as well. They also said new vehicles, including the more affordable models, will utilize aspects of their next generation platform. So just some updates here. Again, not a lot of timing on a lot of these updates other than, this will be sooner or we want this in the future, but certainly nice look and certainly a change in pace from some of those more bearish calls that Elon Musk gave, specifically that Q3 2023 earnings call. Not seeing a lot of bearishness here from so far.
Okay, yeah, good little look there. Yeah, people saying rest in peace their Tesla puts. Yeah, I think for now that's probably in the pocket. But don't like what's happening now. I mean, tomorrow we'll talk about that conference call. There's more to come with Tesla. Like I'm a bull. You know, we talked about that. I said this morning, and it wasn't very popular. The under was hitting. I was like over under where we're opening today at 142. I was over. I talked about that. I'm not necessarily confident. I'm not willing to sort of pat ourselves on the back with that one, but Tesla is starting to go back up to the upside. This is a 5-minute chart. So you're seeing it's trying to hold that 156. So potentially a little bit of a level there. We have that 157, 158 on a daily. That could be looking at a decent level there for Tesla. But again, Adair, even if we put a sort of an anchor, I mean, this is not going to be great. I don't even know really where to put it. If you put it back down to those October lows, obviously we're not getting anywhere up there. So 200 and change Adara for Tesla. I think that's a little rich. We'll wait to see if that comes through. You know, what happened at the end of the day with triple Qs? Because I was short TQQ, and I think I came over here with still a position on board right there, but I think we got to fill at the end of the day right there. So a nice move back in. We were short the market the whole way, but guess what's happening right now? The TQs are starting to blast upside now again, up 5%, starting to go. We'll see if the NASDAQ wants to continue this move higher. I mean, this is forget about the TQs. This is just the normal Qs. So this is the NASDAQ. We'll see what exactly the action is here in the aftermarket. 425 up to 426. A little muted. No, I was just saying that Tesla up at that level could be something up near 200, but I don't think we're getting there. That's quite a ways away. I'm just trying to scan here. Benzinga platform and see if there was anything that potentially we've missed so far here today. Let me just go back over before we do call on Brian, who's getting ready to rock and roll. Tesla, big day, man, up to 154. I like that. But remember what the expected earnings move was? 9.3%. So we're still underneath that at 8 and change. But it does look like everybody looking right, and Tesla says, look left. Rivian on a nice move again. Neil mentioned this, the base down there at $8. We'll see what happens here for Rivian, up and down on that one, not much happening. What about the older car makers? We have Ford coming through later on this week, or tomorrow actually, before market open, Adara, and nothing happening with Ford. And then GM with a big day for GM, up 4 and a bit today. But what a good day it was. Anything else on earnings? And then I'll review some sectors, and then we'll go over to Brian. Yeah,
I mean, I can really quickly go over Enphase, because I know we mentioned the drop, but not the details. It's a bad look. They missed last earnings, and they missed again across the board here. EPS missed 35 cents versus 40 cents expected. Sales missed 263 million versus 282 million expected, so big miss there. And then Q2 revenue forecast 290 to 330 million versus 350 million expected. So very rough look here for Enphase, ENPH falling to the downside just as strongly as Tesla was going to the upside there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good one there. I just want to quickly, before we do get on with Brian, because I know he's waiting and I don't make that guy wait at all. Energy today, XLE, nicely done to the upside. Really got going all day. So energy upside. Let me just check what on USO, because look at this. Good move up again for United States oil. So even if we flip it over to a daily chart, we did have a nice dump off there with oil and demand. We did have sort of and I think it's good. Like, oil, obviously, Adara runs on some of that Iran news. So, you know, it's nice to see a nice move down on some conflict, not resolution, but nothing really happened over the weekend, which is nice for now. So no retaliation, but oil back to the upside. I still think that story has more in it. All right, TAN, we could see that definitely moving with that Enphase. So that should be something to look at tomorrow. And then the rise of the banks. You want to talk about resilience? I feel like XLF, JP Morgan was a monster. Morgan Stanley. I mean, look at this. From this bottom, I am going to drop an anchored VWAP. I was really hoping that we would fall back into this level for XLF, but that didn't happen at all, down to $38. Look at Morgan Stanley. Remember that one day where they had wealth management issues, that they were getting probed into that? No one ever wants to get a probe, especially if you are a financial institution. All the way down there to 85 Adara, but bounces off to 200, come out with earnings and blast right back up to the top. And then you can never keep the king down. And JP Morgan again. You know what? JP Morgan might have bounced. I feel like the anchor is going to be lower because of where we are. Yeah, because JP Morgan just ripped to the upside. But again, nice bounce there at 180. Without any further ado, gold is actually down today. That's kind of interesting. Maybe we can talk to Brian a little bit about gold. But hey, it's time for Trader Talk. It's the man, it's the myth. It's not much of a legend because he's here with us right now. He's a live, living legend.
Yeah.
This is Brian Shannon in Trader Talk. I misspoke there, Brian, because you are a legend. You're just a living legend. You know what I'm saying?
You're too kind, Shawn.
Well, thank you. And this is your book, by the way. We'll promote that after. All right. How was your trading day? Anything popping up on your radar today?
Yeah, it's been a good week. You know, you're talking about oil, and one that's really of interest, Shawn, is the oil service sector.
Right.
OIH. If you look at my screen, I hadn't done this. I was just getting prepared for you. And I've been looking at the weekly and the daily, the daily and the 30-minute time frame. And, you know, we're down to the 200-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. We're above the year-to-date anchor, and that 5-day moving average is starting to curl higher. But what was really interesting, which I hadn't done, we did this last week with the TAN, was I went to a monthly time frame and put an anchor on that high from 2014. And look at that, how well it is held below that level there. Just amazing how that anchor from the high in 2014, that this entire decline has been stuck under it. And now we're tapping several times underneath and pinching between the low from 2021. Looks like the oil service stocks could get going. I'm looking for a little bit of maybe pullback in the morning and then get going, and perhaps up to the monthly date anchor is where I'm looking for it to go.
Do you ever, good call there on oil. I know, do you ever consider macro at all when you're looking at things like that? Like, would you stay away from a great setup because you're sort of thinking that maybe potentially, especially in the Middle East, that there's that conflict there? Is that enough to scare you, or are you just looking strictly at the charts and you'll always take a trade based on what the signals are given?
I'll always take the trade, but if there's some heightened sense of risk
Right.
due to, some macro factor, it's position size for me to mitigate that risk. But in my career, I've let go of too many stocks
Yeah.
or watched them go without me, thinking, well, I couldn't get into that because the market's down or whatever. Yesterday, I had some decent longs, in spite of the fact that we were below the declining 5-day moving average, and that's kind of one of my things. I don't like to be aggressive, but if you've got individual stocks setting up, you've got to take the individual stock setups. Each stock on its own merits. I think I say it every week, Shawn.
Yeah, no, and that's 100%. That's why I asked you. We
Yeah.
get new viewers every once in a while. Big earnings week today. Tesla on everybody's mind. I mean, what an absolute monster. I'll give you a couple seconds maybe to call that one up because I did want to ask you. Here's a 30-minute chart for Tesla. We are breaking above the 200. It did have a nice top here in and around 157, but if I put this over to a minute chart right now, we're coming back in. So today we had a question, will Tesla basically be up or down from today's open? We had a nice move up today. If I call up a 3-minute or 5-minute chart maybe, Tesla kind of just edged its way higher, closed relatively flat on a nice level in and around this 144 and change, but now Tesla takes off up into 155. The reason why I ask you this is because it's a very mixed environment, especially with our viewers. There's some Tesla bulls out there, there's some Tesla bears out there. Obviously, with this move back up, it doesn't necessarily justify being bullish. I mean, the way we've come down, it's been hit pretty hard. Do you see potentially on your charting any signs of recovery here? Do the bulls have hope?
Unfortunately for the bulls, I really don't think so. I mean, if you look at the daily chart, we got stuck at the year-to-date anchor over here. And since then, we've seen a very clear pattern of lower highs and lower lows. Until that pattern's broken, you're going to get bounces that can be traded like this one. But we're below a declining 20-day moving average, declining 50-day moving average, declining 200-day moving average. The big money has been moving out of Tesla. Now, maybe is it going to find some buyers in this general area? We spoke about perhaps a flush below this low and then a little bit of a bounce. But again, we've got a declining 10, 20, 30, 40-week moving average. The only institution I'm aware that's buying this is the one that Noah is familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, the bulls on Tesla, Brian, have had themselves a minute. And I mean, I was hoping that you were going to say maybe we were all clear there, but I agree with you. Let's give it a little bit more room here on Tesla to make a decision. I'd love to see a close above that 160 marker right there for Tesla. So Adara, we have over 4,000 watching, and I don't know if you've met Adara before, Brian, but she's
not, but I'm familiar with her, of course.
Yeah, she's brand new on our desk, and she has a question for you.
Hi, Adara.
Nice to meet you here. There's a question in the chat here for you from Trade and Grow saying, asking if you trade options, stocks, or both?
Both. Mainly stocks, but when I perceive a little bit more risk in the individual stock, or again, going back to Shawn's earlier question, what if the macro conditions aren't as good, but I see a trade setting up? Well, with an option, I know I can 100% limit my risk. So it's for me a risk mitigation tool more so than a leverage play.
Right. Okay, good call right there. Yeah, a lot of people in our chat want to know about options versus stocks, and I've asked you that before. I just looked on your Alpha, so go find Brian at Alpha Trends over on X, first of all. But you tweeted this out, was this today? Yes, it was. Today, this morning. I have posted this setup a dozen times on the SPY.
Dozens, yeah.
Yeah, and this time it worked again. Brian, this is what we're all about, educating traders on the show. So if you don't mind, if we ever have setups that are going to work, and especially if you're going to post it, you have over 20,000 views on this, so congratulations. Your Twitter account is one of the best on the web. Is Twitter on the web?
In the web, yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. One of the best accounts there to find it out. Very educational. Can we break down this spider trade that potentially you saw here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look. What we'll do is go to first the 15-minute time frame.
Sure.
And what so yesterday we got up to the declining 5-day moving average, and we closed lower. We did close right above the yesterday's anchor, though. So it was starting to potentially turn. Now, the 5-day moving average was still declining. And with the setup that I had outlined, and as you said, you can see the actual slide there on Twitter,
Yep.
is that when the market's down 3 to 7 days in a row or so, and it gets pretty oversold,
Right.
I'm generally not a buyer with the market below the 5-day moving average. But when we get a gap above the 5-day moving average, to me, that sends a powerful message that it's time to look to a shorter term time frame for an entry. And one of the chapters in the book, as you know, Shawn, is don't chase the gap, wait for the VWAP. You talk about it all the time.
Love that.
And this little arrow here is what I'm talking about. So this is a 1 minute time frame on the SPY.
Yep.
And we saw the gap higher this morning. We kind of went back and forth a little bit, made a lower low, and then got back above the daily volume weighted average price right here.
I love that.
That's your purchase price with a stop below the low of the day. And as I outlined, there's typically, a little bit of a midday, maybe shakeout below that VWAP. We didn't even get that. It was so strong. It just continued up close to the high of the day. And that is just been one of the most powerful setups for finding a turn in the market after several down days. Over the last 10 years, I've probably posted that tweet, 2-3 dozen times.
That's why you're the best, Brian. I wanted to ask you, you see how you drew that? Do you have a trailing stop? Like you said that we didn't break VWAP there. We didn't even really test it throughout the day. What if it did break right there? Is that something where you would say, let's just say you didn't have anything out, would that be a 50% retracement level of potential of your position where you would get out of maybe half of your shares if we ever broke that VWAP? Or are you waiting for a solid break and then maybe the next candle to hold underneath, something like that? Because for me, that's my biggest problem, is trying to figure out when to get out of position. And then we all make the mistake. I mean, if you've been trading for as long as we have, you're always going to get out of something and then look back and say, why did I do that? Why did I just leave half of my position on the table there? So would have that been an out, or where are the trails once you've made that in?
Great question. And back to my screen here,
Yep.
if we look at, why didn't that hold? Here, if we look at that 1 minute time frame, again, the initial stop was below the low of the day. As it makes a new high, then we expect a pullback and a higher low. So the stop, as it starts to move once again, let me just center this and blow it up a little bit so people can actually see it. So here is the first, basically 2 hours of the day. We have, new momentum after this little pullback. So what I'm looking at is the definition of trend all the time, higher highs and higher lows. So we make that higher high, we pull back, and then we rally, make a higher low, stop goes under there. Pull back, make a higher high, stop goes under there. Pull back, make a higher high, stop goes under there. Pull back, same thing over and over again. And then this is the higher low. So getting out right in here for the most aggressive part of it. And I actually got out of all of it thinking that we were going to undercut and then I would get back in later. So just like you said, we always look back and say, why did I sell that? What was I looking at? But to me, it's the definition of trend for the time frame you're on. I knew this was a day trade, so that's how I was looking at that there.
Yeah, great call there, and I think that's it's just funny that we just talked about that. I was like, you get out of it and then you watch it go back up. The hardest part is really getting back in, and I feel like that's something. Have you looked at Meta? I mean, I asked yesterday, we had Chris Varley on from Trade Ideas. He thought Meta had the best chance to hold its current levels. We talked about the advertising space, and just it's been really working. They've been a definite rocket ship up here with Meta Platforms. And if you come over to my screen just on the daily, I almost feel like we're getting ready to slip up here a little bit. I was going to do this with you live on the show, so I'm doing it. I'm going to drop an anchor right before this last gapped earnings play. And Brian, looky what we find here again, my friend. We are hovering. I mean, first of all, let's give it up for Brian. I'm not going to play around anymore. We've had a lot of people, Adara, on this show, that technical analysis, CMTs, and everything like that. Brian, you've knocked it out with a lot of this anchored VWAP. I want to thank you for all the work that you've done for this. But right now, Meta is hovering right on this anchor. I'm nervous about losing this 480 because if we do, I wonder about a gap fill back in here to 400. If they come out and guide lower, talk about lower ad revenues, I'm not sure what they're going to say, but to me, Meta is a little nervous hands, and I actually trimmed a little bit in my long-term portfolio. I'm a little embarrassed to say that because I do think Meta has the potential to blow up here, but what are we looking at with Meta reporting tomorrow after market? If we lose that 480, are we in trouble?
Probably, Shawn. I think that the next level you want to look at is a year-to-date anchor,
Okay.
which would bring you down to about 460 or so. And that's the first level I would look at. And that's kind of coincident with the lows of that gap you had previously seen there in February. So that 458, 460 level looks like the most important near-term area tomorrow. And, if it can hold in there, then, I don't see an immediate gap fill for Meta, but it definitely is a little bit reason for caution. That 50-day moving average would then start to flatten out. The 20 is declining right now. I think you're smart for being cautious here. I mean, it's had a massive run the last couple of years, and a little bit of sell the news wouldn't be a big surprise, really.
Yeah, I think you gotta take some profit off at some point. I mean, if you're gonna sit there and hold everything until the cows come home, eventually they'll come home. We saw Meta lose, I think it was 70% from its highs there, Brian. All right, we're over time, but doesn't matter, it's our show. Can you stay for a couple more minutes? Because I wanted to ask you if there was anything specifically that you wanted to look at moving forward, because so far you've just taken some of the bullets that I've fired. Is there anything maybe that you're looking at as a trade idea for potentially some of the viewers that are out there?
Sure. A couple of the ones that I've put on Twitter recently. I know that you're interested in Disney, Shawn, and
Yes,
Disney is kind of, hovering near that the 50-day moving average. We've got the anchor from the gap right here as well. So that's kind of an interesting level that maybe it could get going here again. I've been talking about, well, I like Generac. I got long Generac today,
Okay.
finally. And this one, if, as the phrase goes, if they didn't scare you out, they've worn you out at some point in here. Generac looks like it could finally continue to move higher. Halliburton is one of those oil service stocks that might be able to make some upside from here. CCJ, thinking
Cameco.
tomorrow, if we get a little bit of a pullback and then break these highs, that Cameco could go. So those are the few I've had an eye on. I've also got some CPNG, which I put on Twitter this morning, and LPG was a beauty here. Just a perfect setup for the purchase down at $40.50 this morning.
Brian, we still have over 3,000 watching. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. So thank you for doing all of that. One trade that I keep asking everybody about, and thanks for bringing up Disney. For me, we got some out like at 112, 117, 121 and change. So we're holding fort right now. What about UNG? So this is a name that a lot of traders like because it is the Widowmaker, as you've told us, as well as Dr. Copper and things like that. But right now, UNG is looking pretty good off the bottom, trying to take out this 50-period moving average. To me, this looks, I don't like to trade it, but there's a lot of people that, this is one of those YOLO names. If you're going against this level, it's not the end of the world to potentially take a long here and see if we can get back up into this 17 area off of a simple break here of 15.50. I think the risk to reward might be here. You have about $1.50 to the bottom, and if you get to 17, that's your $1.50, let alone taking out 18, and then that's when we make a little bit of money as we run to the 200 period. Am I a little off here with, someone said I'm high by thinking that Meta would go down to 400. Am I the same thing here, thinking UNG has a chance?
I don't see it, Shawn. I
Okay.
mean, I don't like these stocks with a declining 50, 100, 150, 200-day moving average. If it got going, I think you would look at that 18 level, which was the December low, as well as it's the year-to-date anchored VWAP. So that would be your first important level. And really, it was kind of the highs in March as well. So 1780 to 1810 or so. But I just don't see it personally.
Okay.
It is. I mean, and also you look at it, it's up from 1390 to 15.5. So it's just rallied 10% here in the last week and a half.
Yeah,
I don't think you want to buy a stock in a downtrend after it's been up 10% in a week and a half, when every other rally has been stuffed for the last, what is it, decade in this thing?
Yeah, no, hey, man, I'm with you on that. I don't even want to pull back a weekly chart. I'm going to stay away from all of that. Nice move up in gold, though. I mean, me and you talked about that as well. I think a little bit of a flight to safety as, I guess it's higher for longer, Mr. Shannon. But I have your Alpha Trends, X page. Keep calling it Twitter, but there he is. There's a handsome gentleman right there. I like the goatee, though. I like the goatee. Brian Shannon, go follow this guy. Here's a book. This is an amazing one that we've already talked about. Go grab it on Amazon. It's VWAP. It's amazing. It's Maximum Trading Gains, and we have it right here. And I'm going to keep on promoting this. If we flip over here, Fabian, we'll be able to show that I'm holding this right now, and this goes around the floor, and Adara's reading it right now as we speak as well. I think this is great for not only advanced traders, but also beginners alike. They can find that on Amazon, Alpha Trends. Anything else we want to promote here, Brian? Because I am forever indebted to you for coming on the show.
No, Shawn, I've never once asked you to promote it, and it continually amazes me that you do it every single week. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem, Brian. And I'm also going to invite you up here. Whenever you're in, the lovely country of Canada, you are going to be visiting Toronto. You've never been to Toronto, or have you?
I have, yeah.
Oh, perfect. And you like it?
I like Toronto. The way I remembered it, Shawn, was live in Toronto and play in Montreal.
Okay, I'm down with that. I got about a 5 hour. Yeah. Now that I'm married, I live in Toronto and play in Toronto. But yeah, that was a good call right there. It's Brian Shannon. Thank you so much for everything that you continue to do for us. And you are right. You have never asked to promote. And on that note, Anchor VWAP, go pick it up. Thank you, Mr. Brian Shannon. Have a fantastic week, and hopefully we'll catch you next week.
You got it. Thanks, Shawn.
That's Trader Talk right there. Let's go. All right, Adair, that's how we do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we do it.
That was awesome. Yeah, thanks again to Brian Shannon. Very nice to meet you in this setting. Yeah, anchored VWAP. Check that out. And it's interesting to see how it does kind of come into confluence with a lot of these levels, as shown there by Brian.
Yeah, you're using words like confluence and stuff like that. The one thing about this show is we try to dumb it down.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm playing around.
I'm not good at sarcasm.
I looked at Adair. She's like, oh, did I make a mistake? Eat it. What are you talking about? Okay. Hey, look, just a quick little check. I'm going to wrap this thing up. We're going to pass on all that stuff. Shawn's tweets, yeah, they're fun. They're fancy. Sticky note was great today, man. That Amazon long down there at 176. Let me just talk about that real quick as I go. We're almost done. It's 4:37. I got stuff to do. But right here, look at this push down for Amazon. So we put this down on our sticky note. I have no shorts today, only longs. It's right here. This was the trade. I was surprised when Amazon started to go off to the upside. We knew we wanted that 176 long. That was on the sticky note. Unfortunately, we started that party way too early, and we just got excited, and we got to stop that. So 178, I thought we were coming in back into these pre-market lows. I mean, we started the day at 179. We went down almost immediately $1. Once that 178 gave it up, we got out there on a 75 break. That sucked, so that was the fail. But then we were pretty good at Dara. We waited. We got 177. We got some of those out there for 50 and 60 cents. Then this happened, and then that's when the money came in. We were very, very patient. I'm pretty proud of myself to wait for that 176.50 and 176. And then when the iron was hot, we struck down there at 176.20, basically having the bottom of the day. But unfortunately, we do not have the top. This is tomorrow's trade today, Adara.
Really?
Amazon break 180 tomorrow.
Nice.
That's what I'm looking for. So we'll see if we can get that Amazon right now at 179. But before we let everybody go, let's just check in on the temperature of some of the stocks that we're talking about today. So let's see what Tesla's doing. Tesla right now holding forward at 153. That's a win. I don't think it goes lower. It would have already by now. We'll watch out for Tesla. I think if you can get any pullbacks into 146, 147, that's a jam right there. I like Tesla. Visa. I've liked Visa for a minute. Good report. We talked about this on the podcast. I think it's a good number there for Visa, trying to blow out through 280. It looks like we've done that right now. I was trying to think about what the level was. It's 280. We're over that. Tomorrow's trade today, possibly Visa long at these levels. Enphase. Almost threw up in my mouth a little bit right there.
Yeah.
Enphase, a little bit of a downside move, down 5 and a bit percentage points there for that one. Texan. Yeah, I was a little phased by that.
Yeah.
But right there, 165. Thanks, Fabian, for that one as well. 175 for Texas Instruments. Look, I just got to thank everybody. You know what we do by thanking people, and how exactly do we do that? We do that with the roll call. So let's go right now. Where's my thing? There it is. It's the roll call. Again, Adara, eventually I'm going to have you do the roll call.
Okay. Yeah.
Should that be fun?
That would be, yeah, that'd be interesting. I've done it a couple times with our show for sure.
The thing is, I don't think you speak fast enough for the roll call.
Is that sarcasm?
All right, who's here right now? Let's go. It's roll call time. Yeah, I think you'll be fine on the roll call.
I was going to say, they're going to speak pretty quickly, yeah.
Potentially. Man, we're having fun. This is what we're doing.
We're having a great time.
You know, thanks for rocking the after show, says Chef Joe. So we'll start the shout outs right now. Shout out to Chef Joe. Shout out to everybody, first of all, right now. Thank you to D. Westermeyer's here. Hold My Beer. Take Profit Tom. Stan is here. Patrick Langlois. I don't know why your guy Sharif says Langlois, he says. I think it's Langlois.
It looks like Langlois, but there's another, there's
like
an
it's
L
French.
there. Yeah, I don't know.
Tesla, go long. What's up to Leo? What's up to Bears versus Bulls? Couldn't do this without you. That's for sure. Shout out to Mike Pena, Brad Gober, and it's Matt, right? Is that who's here today? Matt, get over here, Matt. You're going to come on the after show right now. We got to give a big shout out to Matt, visiting us from where? Here in Toronto. Nice to meet you. I've already seen you before. That's Adara. Have you met Adara yet? We don't have a mic, so that's fine. I'll talk to you after. Thanks, Matt. You're live on the after show right there. 2,400. Not bad.
Nice.
Adara, thank you for the show again. I thought we did pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a wrap. Tomorrow we have monster earnings again. I just looked up Meta.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for Meta. A $500 name. That's going to move.
I'm excited.
You think it's going to be a mega Meta move?
Well, yeah, we'll have to find out if it's meta or if it's a bit more of a micro move. I think, you know, we had the dividend drop last quarter, so we'll have to see if Mark Zuckerberg and his team can step it up.
All right, let's go. Tomorrow, see us live at 8:30. Both Adara, myself, Sharif, someone named Brendan, Neil will be here. Who am I missing? We've got Fabian. We've got Ramin. Ty behind.
Yeah.
That's it. Mark, shout out to Mark. Are you seeing the podcast room?
Oh yeah, I've seen like little hints. I've seen sneak
We're about
previews.
to throw down the podcasts.
I'm excited.
You want to do a podcast with me? What would it be?
I don't know. I'd be interested. We'd have to see what it would be about. But yeah, I think I feel like I have a.
We'll figure it out.
I would chat.
We'll figure it out. Chilling in the Cybertruck. All right. Thank you so much for everybody watching. It's been a blast. We do have a podcast, as you can see. Thank you to Adara. Thank you to our good friend Brian Shannon, who continues to come by every single week. And most importantly, thank you to everybody. I'm Shawn. This is Adara LePage. I don't think I've ever said your last name.
Yeah, that's it. You said it exactly right. Adara LePage.
Oh, that's pretty easy to say. All right. I will see everybody tomorrow at 8:30. Have a great evening. Cha-cha-chow.